Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. I told you it would work.
How does that work?
I don't know. You start fake laughing and you end up real laughing. It's not a joke. It really happens. We're not good enough actors.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyways, do the music.
Like reaching out from outer space, crashing like Pacific tape. Cause home looks more like someone's face when it's no specific place.
Well, welcome back to the show. I'm feeling leavened.
Should we do that every time before we start now?
Just fake laugh until we feel good.
I'm pretty sure I did it at improv class years ago, and it is 100% true. We fake laugh, everyone does it, and eventually everyone is genuinely laughing. It feels good.
Well, check this out. Instead of laughing, we do fake coughing until we're all
sick.
Well, till you get all the coughs out.
You do fake screaming until we all hate each other for real.
Now save it for next week, Swain.
Okay.
Guys,
how you guys doing?
I listened to an old episode of this show over 100 weeks ago. We were still doing this podcast, and even another 100 weeks ago after that. But we used to do this thing where we asked each other how we're doing. We go in a bit of a round. And, what it was really a secret way to introduce the audience to who we are so they could distinguish our voices. You want to do it again?
Yeah. Bonesy, you start and then go to me so we can get to Swain and he ceremonially forgets how it works and where to go next.
Okay. Birds, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Bones. Swain, how are you?
I am doing great as well. Bones?
Oh, he did it this time.
Oh, he's got it.
There was like 50 episodes in a row. You just forgot to ask me how I was doing.
Long pause.
You're like,
Andrew
I'm great. Anyway, so the TWAB this week.
So a montage playing in the background right now of me practicing that in the tundra outside of my house, like punching meat,
jogging,
throwing it to Bones.
Swain, do you have that thing outside with like the pants where like the pants stand up on their own?
What?
Do you have that thing outside with the pants where the pants stand up on their own? What was confusing about that to you,
I don't know how else to say. I don't know how clearer I could say it. All right.
Are the pants wet?
Does this have to do with it being cold?
Yeah. They're like ice pants now. Here you go.
Birds, you can kind of freeze anything if you want.
I can't.
You're right. You don't have a big enough freezer.
Oh, I'm guessing those pants are cold. Well, or wet.
Real cold pants.
They're wet, and then it's like okay. No, it's not that cold.
A new thing we do on the show is send each other a GIF or image and talk about it without our audience being able to see it.
We should just post it on the Twitter.
No explanation.
No explanation.
Yeah, just say, stay tuned for episode 189. It'll all make sense. And then it'll make, ultimately very little sense.
Birds, you have access to the Twitter account. Can't you just post that from your computer so I don't have to save this on my computer?
Maybe. Do we have somebody who like has the capability to go in and like take it so it's like a GIF of some cold pants flipping, but instead of like pants, it's like the last word or something. It's like a destiny thing, so it's like plausible.
Instead of the last word, it's Swain's face making a surprised expression as he's flipped through the air.
Oh yeah. I like when the face is on things.
Put my face on the pants, please.
The cold pants.
Welcome to Crucible Radio, the podcast for all things Destiny 2 PvP. Guys,
that's us.
Yeah, guess what? No bullshit this week. We can't just talk about pants for an hour because an actual update happened.
You wash me.
I know you're going to try, Swain, but you're not going to be able to avoid these sandbox tunings. because it happened.
They've been stalking me for the past 4 days. I'm scared.
It's okay, though. We'll be able to handle it. Also, some cool stuff in the Destiny world that I did. Well, I won Moment of the Week with my montage riot. That was cool. Well, what's really cool about that? No, this is 100% genuine. Thank you. Thank you. It all started in 2015. No, I'm just kidding. No,
I'd
but
like to thank my girlfriend.
She really helped me with picking out the song. No, that's not even true. I picked it out myself. I want to take full credit for that because that's about as much work as I did.
No credit.
No, but I submitted this thing to the creations page like 3 weeks ago, and then it eventually found its way up. But at the same time, former guest and friend of the show, Kensta, submits his montage using the song What's Up Danger, which is also from the Spider-Verse soundtrack. If those of you who have seen my montage and didn't know, that's a song from Spider-Verse. So both of us win. And I know it's a lame thing to say. It's like I don't see first and second place, but I really never did. So I was just like, this is one of the coolest feelings ever, is that like me and Kensta are on the TWAB, both of us with montages with the Spider-Verse soundtrack. I thought it was like too perfect and just one of my favorite moments just in this Destiny world. And Greeny is the man. He edits me and Swain's montages all the time. He's responsible for the video for Rise Up and did excellent work once again. And Kensta and his editor, Ascendant Nomad, also amazing. So 2 good montages I do recommend. But that's just, it made my week, man. It was really cool. It was really cool to just like, one, like win something and also do it with a friend of mine. So shout out to Kensta.
Personally, I'm just relieved that we can stop hearing about Bonesy and Moment of the Week. A nice long break from
Ooh, actually, birds. Ooh.
Nope, it's going to be a nice long break where it doesn't even cross my plate and I don't think about it. Let's move on.
Okay, but actually, well, I don't know the future and I don't know if this is how it's going to work, but Bife's Thorn and Last Word video came out and it's pretty incredible. It's like an hour and a half long. And there are some absurd performances by other Destiny community members and myself. And I'm part of it, but really it's like some amazing voice work done by Blessius and other people voicing Dredge and Yor and Shin Malfour.
Featuring Moonvald
as well, friend of the show. Mega Magwitch is there for a little bit. He plays one of the bandits, Holtzman as well. There's a lot of amazingly talented artists and stuff involved with that. And that was like really cool that I can even do a little thing. And I thought the casting of me playing the first recorded person to ever cry about Thorn was just like too good to be true. And that's basically my character. So go check that out.
Brand.
Should we get to these notes? So these patch notes, Swain, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm definitely not asleep.
Okay.
He's had a long day. I mean, do we have to start with the notes or can we just talk about Last Word, you guys?
Yeah, no, we can do that for sure.
Let's just start there first, you guys. I have to say, Last Word is back. It's back.
Mm-hmm. It's back.
The old TLW, it is back.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I was trying to explain it to a very disinterested wife the other night. But it's just, it's an interesting thing because in a lot of ways, it's very much like the Last Word of Destiny 1, right? Same perks, same feel, same vibe. I mean, you know, it's the same gun. But at the same time, it does feel different, right? Like it definitely, and maybe that's just because I'm playing on PC now. Things are a little bit different there. I know console is a different experience. But that also it fits into the sandbox in a different way now, right? Like this isn't the D1 sandbox. It's in a world where sort of the main competition are these very good 180 hand cannons, which is just like a totally different thing.
Right. No, I did not expect those to be ruling the world back when they first got introduced.
Right. When they had that new recoil animation.
Is that not Warmind, but Curse of Osiris. Yep. Where the original Forge weapons showed up, and we were like, "What is this?" I think it's crazy. It does 100%. Like, it offers such a great choice. I know I was joking last week about not using Not Forgotten and stuff like that, but it's a good choice, but it's also very different from those. I love the feeling of the hip fire and stuff. I didn't even realize how much I would like it until that little tiny trailer dropped. And I just got so hyped. Like, that feeling is just unparalleled. Is that the word? Is that a word? Unparalleled. Just like that blap blap, you know, like, it feels great, but it, like you said, it fits into this sandbox differently, but familiar. And I think it's really good. I think it offers a ton of choices on your loadout. And I think it's interesting having that old feeling back of D1. The feeling was like, well, when we only had a primary and a special, you could never run duo primaries or anything like that. You had to make a choice of what kind of ranges you were going to limit yourself to. So last word and shotgun is like, you better be aggressive. And now it's like that feeling's back where it's like, if the last word is my only primary, I do have to switch up my play style. I cannot rely on ace of spades fighting at, you know, pulse rifle ranges anymore. You know, like, I cover all ranges possible with a gun like ace of spades. Last word is very specific to a certain zone and a certain distance, but at the same time, it feels good and it feels worth it. So I'm just like so happy to have it back. And fucking Thorn.
Yeah.
I cannot believe
cool.
it. like obviously I can't.
At the end of that little cinematic.
It gave me chills. I'm so excited for Thorn.
It's gonna be. Well, let's not go there.
I know.
I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared to get
nuts.
into.
Okay.
I think, like, I obviously, like, I have off on Tuesdays, so I went and got the last word pretty quick this week, and I didn't necessarily vibe with it all that much because it does have a bit of a learning curve, and I'm impatient with myself. So I kind of just went back to what I was doing. But when I thought about it a little bit more, I am probably more excited for Thorn coming back. Just because, like, last word fits a lot of people's playstyles, and that's cool and all. But I don't think it's for me. But that's okay. I'm not going to force myself to use it all the time. But okay, I will pair it with the right side of wrong when I do use it.
You know, comparing last word to Thorn, and, you know, who knows if Thorn's going to be exactly the same when it comes back.
God, I hope it, like, has the worst damage over time.
Man, I'm so curious.
It turns your screen permanently green. Just never comes back. Something with pixels.
Monitor burn.
I mean, you know, the difference there, like, Thorn is a great utility hand cannon. That dot is very effective. The tracking it gives is very effective. Whereas last word is really strong, but it's situational, right? Like, you have to have in your play style. I think to that end, like, my favorite thing about it is how hard they doubled down on the hip fire. I feel like there's something about the hit registration or something. And again, maybe it's PC, but it just feels like it connects so much more reliably than it ever did for me on console. And correspondingly, the ADS, nearly unusable. Like, you can get the one shot. Maybe folks have got it figured out, but I just cannot get down with that aim down sights. But you know what? That's fine. That is totally fine with me because you get that fanfire stacks. You can actually see the stacks on your screen. And yeah, you know, you can ADS I think Keen said, like, look, if you need one shot, if it's one shot left and you need to get it right, use the ADS, but otherwise get that hip fire. And it just feels good. We've got a real shotgun pushing counter for this particular meta we're in right now. And I think that's great.
I think we should kind of talk about it a little bit because this week was filled with scrub mentality over this gun.
Oh boy.
And, like, we're the show that teaches you don't be a scrub. Just learn.
Do we need to, you know, this word, it's a real hot button word.
Screwed.
Gets people real charged up. Should we define
Can we play this song No Scrubs?
No, we should just read a definition.
Think so.
We don't have the rights to.
Scrub is a guy who thinks he's fly.
Well,
also
that
known as a buster.
I guess that works. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, birds hit
I'm
us.
paraphrasing here, but if you go to the old Serlin.net and you read up, you go talk to Mr. Keen Koala who remembers these types of things off the top of his head. A scrub is somebody who plays the game under a set of made-up rules that do not exist. They say, "Oh, that's too good. It's so cheap to use that. I won't use it." And as a result, they do not win. And when trying to understand why they're not winning, instead of going, maybe I should have used the best stuff and used it well, maybe I should have played better. No, it's not me. It's anything but me. They use cheap weapons. They were camping. They were just, what's that word? Monkeying around with shotguns. They were using this OP super. Everyone sneaks up behind you and just kills you in 1 second with a shotgun. It's not fair.
You see it a lot in people that get attached to a particular weapon that just isn't the meta at all, or like far from good. So,
which is not to say you can't play whatever you want. You absolutely can.
Yeah,
but if you lose as a result of that choice, you can't be upset, right? That's the sandbox. There are going to be good things. There are going to be bad things. There's a lot of viable things right now. And it's going to change over time. So when you really have to win, you have to get kills. Maybe in this particular case, you have to go positive with your KD. You want to use everything to your advantage. And if you're not getting it, that is A-okay. You can work on it. You can improve. And I think there's some specific advice for this quest we could give if you're having trouble getting through those two Crucible challenges.
I reached a conclusion about that, actually, because I tweeted about this and I said, hey, I see a lot of frustration, a lot of venting, but no seeking answers, right? Like no one saying, guys, what? Like, what do I do? How is this possible?
It is, no, I'm going to dismantle this.
Right. I'm going to punch my wall. But, and that's fair. It's like tough to ask for help. I'm not blaming anyone for that, really. But, and then I also got a lot of responses, which I found really great. A lot of people saying like, hey, I'm not a PvP guy, or like, I love PvP, but I suck. But hey, I buckled down and I did it over the course of 6 games, or 10 games or whatever it took, just go a little bit positive. And while that's great, like I realize that's not even the issue. It's not about your skill. I say, okay, you're maybe not good at the Crucible. You're not above average. How are you at solving problems in your life? Can you evaluate a challenge and figure out the best possible solution to it? And if you break it down like that, it gets really simple. You look, what are the parameters of this challenge? You can get kills or you can get assists. You've got to get at least one more of either of those compared to the amount of deaths you have. So 2 assists a life versus 1 death, you will go positive and you will start adding to that total and you will incrementally work your way up.
Yep.
What does it take to have an assist? What does that mean in this game? An assist is doing damage on someone that eventually gets killed in this game. So if someone else gets the final blow and you touched them and you did partial damage, you get credit for the assist. All you have to do is do damage to a player that eventually dies from damage before they recover all of their health entirely.
Oh, so like pulse rifles,
exactly,
bows, sniper rifles, be far away and put damage on someone.
Yeah, and I mean, you
so
can get assists with a shotgun, and you can get a kill with a shotgun, and that still counts. But what puts you in more danger? Getting up close with a shotgun? Maybe you're not good at that. Maybe you don't like the aggressive play. Like, what else can you do to do damage safely and keep yourself from harm? Like what Swain says, like use at a distance. And that has nothing to do with your skill. And of course, you got to work on your aim. Your mouse aim is tough. I had to practice it at one point, but you're going to be able to put bullets on people. Otherwise, you wouldn't be playing Destiny because I know you can shoot the aliens, so you shoot their foot and you're going to be fine if you can approach it as a problem that has a solution versus approaching it as a quest that says, well, you better be fucking good at this game or you're not going to get the last word. Because that's how I see people reading it. And it just doesn't make sense. It's a solvable issue in a video game.
There's also things that help you out immensely in this situation, like your super.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a roaming super that will almost always net you more than one kill, if you are smart about it. So if you're on Golden Gun, switching to the 6-shooter rather than Blade Barrage, Like you're gonna most likely be able to shoot someone from really far away because of the aim assist on that thing. You really just kind of have to point it in their direction. So think smart. Think about the map. Think about what your loadout is. There's a lot there that can be like very tailored to these specific steps in the Crucible.
Yeah.
I think it's worth pointing out that you can clear that part of going positive and lose every single match.
Yeah.
So you know what? Just turn that Shax down. Turn that volume down. Shax, you don't need to be yelling at me. And honestly, and this is a tough one to get over when you're in the mode you want to win. If you're playing control and they've got a power play against you and they're gonna win it unless you risk, go stand on a point and go cap something, you can just ignore it. You can just commit to losing because your goal is in this situation is not to win. You don't get any points for winning. It is solely about staying positive. And I think, look, there's a lot of people listening to the show who are plenty handy in the Crucible, didn't have a problem with this, have got their last word. But I think there's a different way to approach this that I think is practical for everyone, which is, I guess I don't see it too much as trying to get damage on people because I think that's a given, right? We're going to do it. I think the exercise, and one that's helped me a lot, is specifically saying I'm not going to die this Crucible match. Don't worry about getting the assist. It will happen naturally. Focus on not getting killed because if you're having problems going positive, it almost certainly is because of things within your control that are causing you to be killed versus not getting enough damage out, not hitting people. I mean, you can always work on your aim, but there's a lot of very immediate decisions you can make. So a big one is just deciding where you're going to position yourself. And like you say, I mean, your loadout affects a lot of that. If you're using, a shotgun and an SMG or something like that, that's a loadout that forces you to get up in the mix, right? It's just as likely that they're going to shotgun you or you're going to push out too far. Or there was someone crouching behind the corner versus using a pulse rifle versus using a scout. And we'll get to that in a minute. Using a sniper rifle, using a linear fusion, using long range weapons that can take you out of the fray.
Use the colony. You don't even have to really aim it.
You don't even have to see them.
That is honestly great advice. So I would really encourage folks at any skill level, really think about when you die. We all have this natural reaction of like, what? Come on, that's no, bad. But there's another angle you can look at it, which is like, all right, what did I do? And you could probably guess, right? Like, you thought there was a person there and you went after them. Turns out there was 3 people and they gunned you down. You peeked out to try and shoot somebody from around a corner and they shot you more and they won the fight. Or maybe you were being real careful and you were peeking just right, but you lost track of your radar and someone snuck up behind you. I mean, these things happen, but you can go into a match saying, okay, I'm going to keep moving around and I'm going to keep checking my radar and I'm not going to get snuck up on this match. You can say, if I'm outnumbered, then I'm not going to push. I'm not going forward. I might even turn and fall back, but I'm going to surround myself with teammates and let them be human shields for me. There's all kinds of things you can do that really have nothing to do with trying to win any given match, but really help you try and fix the other half of that equation that brings your KD down. And yeah, even if it takes you 20 games, I think kind of working on making sure that you're not going to be the one giving up lives this round. Maybe your teammates are going to rush out and get killed and you're going to get stomped relatively in the final score. But making that decision that you're not going to be the one who wandered out into the middle of nowhere by yourself and got shot from 3 different directions. That kind of focus and prioritizing that above everything else, you'll feel different going forward having played that. You'll once you start kind of thinking in that mode of what did I miss that ended up sneaking up on me. It helps. It feels cleaner and more focused versus just pushing into chaos and relying on your reaction time to swing the shotgun around just right.
You know what my scrubby habit is right now?
What's that?
I am so close to these good plays where like I think I'm good. I'm checking my angles. I'm getting kills. And I'm like weak. I'm going to get health or I'm going to fall into cover. And some dude from a right angle with a pulse rifle just finishes me off from the other side of the map. That drives me insane. And I always complain about it. And I know my teammates have heard me do that. But you know what that guy's doing? Getting an easy kill from really far away in no risk of getting killed themselves, and always getting cleanup plays like that with a pulse rifle is such an easy way to stay consistent and keep your numbers up. And it's like every time that's what I'm like always raging about with 6v6. I'm like, there's some other dude who wasn't even a part of it getting my kill, but they're probably finishing this quest no problem.
I'm just thinking about how the malfeasance is probably going to be like Thorn.
Yeah, I thought that was like that's what we were going to get instead of Thorn in D2.
Here's what I'm thinking, and here's what I'm hoping. I want to talk about Thorn. So it was technically a 150 in D1. We didn't have the RPM stats, but now we refer to them as 150s. And it was such an easy kill because of that extra damage. I have this theory that it won't be a flat out better gun than say a Dire Promise in terms of TTK. It's still going to require maybe 3 headshots in the same amount of time. And that really the benefit will be the utility of like tracking people with Thor with Dot or getting a kill more likely versus, in an assist. That's my theory. But I really want it to just be a monster and like get like maybe 2 headshot 1 bodies and have it functionally a 140, even if it shoots at a 150 rate of fire. But I'm so excited.
I would love for it to be a monster again.
Yeah,
just for a little bit, like just bring it back,
just for a little bit.
That's what Thorn's all about.
just a little bit.
Can we be old men for a minute?
Yeah.
Back in my day, when you wanted a gun like Thorin, they didn't just hand it to you.
God.
You didn't have to go positive.
Oh my God.
How many void kills was it?
Void kills.
500 void kills.
Thank God I was a void warlock back when hunters didn't have a void subclass.
Yeah, hunters didn't even have one.
You know that,
and defenders couldn't get kills with their abilities. That wasn't even a thing.
It's just punching
like that. No, that for me, I remember it. Like, not only did we have to get 500 void kills, but we liked it. We were grateful for. No, actually, everyone hated it then too. But I remember for me that was me looking through my vault and going, all right, what? Okay. How am I gonna? What's gonna happen here?
Do you guys remember when we had 15 vault spaces?
Oh
God! And Thorn was really bad, so I dismantled it to make room in my vault, and then I had to do that whole quest a second time to get Thorn again when they made it extremely good.
Oh, life Thorn kiosk.
That quest was probably what started it all for me. That kind of got me in the right direction. Like that big. Like looking at that and being like, I'm never going to finish this. Cause like you would not be playing the subclass that it required. And then you would go backwards, like almost always at the beginning if you were just kind of casually playing. And I was finally like, I need to do this and I need to do it smart. And I kind of just like hunkered down, put on the things that I needed to put on and got it done. But it took a while. And it took a lot of like very focused effort, but I got it done. Even though back then I was quite the scrub. I would give so much shit to people in my fire team if they were using Thorn.
Oh man!
And looking back on it, I'm like, oh.
I think that was for me the descrubification process because I eventually found in my vault a blue void shotgun. I don't remember what it was. And I said, all right, I'm going to learn how to do this blink shotgun thing I have heard so much about. Let's go. Let's figure it out. And I got like all 500 kills playing blink shotgun. And it was very, very slow at first. And then I started to get the hang of it. And I think really by the end of it, I not only had gotten Thorn, I now could round out the whole play style of Thorn Blink Shotgun that was so frustrating. But I also really, I kind of proved to myself that I could be in a spot where I was not capable of getting this thing and suffer through it and just commit like, all right, however long it takes, I'm going to suffer through it. And by the end of it, go like, I'm pretty good. I got another thing in my pocket at this point. I was totally burnt out on Blink Shotgun at that point. But that having that experience, and then I had to walk through the snow. It was like 10 miles both ways. Uphill, just continuously, and cars would pelt me with rocks and cans as I drove by, and it made me stronger.
You had a job. You didn't go to college. We're getting off topic.
Yeah. It's a different
I miss
time
Blink
back
so much. I used Blink all week, and I still miss it so much. It used to be so good. It used to feel amazing. Bring it back. Bring back Blink. Start the hashtag.
I think it's in the game somewhere.
Yeah, no, I used it. I'm saying, but I want it back. We should get into these tunings, man. Now that we're heading towards the topic, so much has happened.
Oh, there was a particular treat in here for me because look, Last Word is back. It has immediately assumed its place in the meta. You're going to see a lot of it. I'm kind of curious to hear what you guys think about the subclass stuff, just because I haven't branched out too much at this point. But really, for me, what it's all about are Vice Scouts. Oh my God, you guys, they're back. I really tried to make them work. If you listen back, I don't know, 50 episodes ago, I was using them to the best of my ability, and they remained very situational, and now they are just straight up good. So these are primarily, if you're looking at random rolls, this is going to be Black Scorpion, but all those, right? Your Frostmire's Hex from Iron Banner. That archetype in particular seems to be the one that's really benefited the most from these scout rifle changes. Your high impact ones have been 3-tapping for a while now. And they, if you can land those headshots, it really kills quite fast. I'm going to give you the pro tip. I gave it last time when I first figured these out, and I confirmed it again. At almost every range with these Vice Scouts, you don't want to use full auto. Tap the trigger. I don't know why. You just tap it as fast as you can. You will land more headshots and you will kill faster. Something about actually taking the shot instead of just trying to track and time it just works better. Tap the trigger. It makes a big difference.
One change I didn't think would be a big deal was the stuff to bows. And they actually made the bowstring perks more noticeable. So you'll get more drastic effects to your stats and to your draw time and stuff like that. And, it's been a couple months since Keen declared he was going to get Mountaintop using nothing but a bow, which he did. And then I decided, well, I have to prove myself and get good with a bow. But Subtle Calamity is like a big regular in my loadout now. And it's actually pretty interesting how wildly the draw time can change on that gun, on that bow, but it's not a gun. You see, I had like 5 rolls in my vault, and I'm like trying to figure out the best one. And the draw times were going at high points of 780, maybe 800 with certain bad perks, all the way down to 680. So there is a huge swing. I mean, 680 is really low, considering 600 is the lower archetype. You know what I mean? Like that's getting into the arsenic bite level. So you're actually very close in how much that can change. And I think draw time makes a huge difference on bows. And the Last Word, Subtle Calamity now is a nice little pairing. But on top of that, of course, using the Last Word, I had to start sniping. And I do it occasionally, but I'm not very good with mouse and keyboard. And I kind of thought the Tatara Gaze would be the thing. It's got kill clip, I can body shot, high impact, get the blints. I love those high impact snipers like D1. But the handling was really slow, and I'm not good enough on mouse and keyboard sniping. So I pulled out the Persuader, which is a relatively not talked about sniper rifle from the Vanguard.
Yeah, wait a minute. I got one of these in my vault. Okay,
Yeah.
tell me about this thing.
It was the only gun added to the Vanguard drop pool from strikes and stuff in Black Armory. And it's just this 140 high rate of fire sniper, void energy slot. So comparable to the Supremacy. And I got one to drop since I'm trying to grind for that fusion rifle with Snapshot and Outlaw. And I'm like, all right, Snapshot's good enough for me. It's got a short zoom.
Yeah, see, I'm looking. I got one here. It's got a Snapshot on it. This seems...
I'd give it a shot. I mean, I have flared magwell and Outlaw, and it has like a insanely high base reload stat. And I have it masterworked reload. It's already overkill, but it's such a light and whippy gun. And the changes that they've made in this patch is that they've increased the damage on those so that you can do 2-tap body shot to kill. Now, you don't want to be aiming for that. Obviously, you aim for the head on this sniper no matter what. But it makes a huge difference knowing that if you have the time and the space and the ammo, you can finish off with just one more shot. And it feels kind of like that Praedyth, like Praedyth's Revenge, where it feels like a super high impact scout. But the handling mixed with the reload and the snappy aim felt so much better with the last word than Tatara Gaze could have possibly felt, at least where I'm at now. So maybe I'll get better with my aiming. Maybe I'll get a better roll on the Gaze with Snapshot or something like that. But Persuader and a bow are like so close together that it both pair so well with the last word. So I think it's a really great change because it puts those snipers into a very, very usable position, knowing you can get the 2-tap body.
Oh, this is interesting. I love that feeling when somebody tells you about a gun they pulled out of their vault and have fallen in love with, and then you look in your vault and you also have that gun, and they go like really to play with it. It's got Snapshot and the other stuff you said on it. I can't wait.
Well, and we just talked about how steady rounds on a sniper can be helpful as well. So I'm kind of trying to keep a lookout for that role. And that can be a big difference if you're trying to consistently hit shots. I mean, I would take steady rounds over
follow-ups.
Right, exactly. I would take that over flared magwell and appended mag and all those magazine perks. Steady rounds would be huge for a gun like that. I might have to go examine my Supremacy as well, although can't pair that with last
realizing
word.
I have a Snapshot Outlaw Fake Cries Foul.
Oh, come on. I have gotten so many Fake Cries Foul. I've never, ever gotten one with Snapshot on it.
Oh, that's a bummer because I have
all I want.
Short zoom, ricochet, Snapshot, and moving target Fake Cries Foul, and I don't like that gun.
The good one, yeah. Okay.
I'm wrong.
Is that the gun that your fellow
Yes.
moment
I was just about to say
like so much?
Kensta. The thing about Kensta, you can say this about only a handful number of players, is that when you see their clip, if you never looked at the kill feed, you'd recognize their play. Kensta, I can recognize a Kensta play because he never lets Fake Cries Foul away from his sight, and he does amazing things with it. I'm objectively wrong. It's clearly a very good gun, and I have a god roll on it, but I just don't like the sound and feel of it, so I don't use it. So don't listen to me. Use Fake Cry Foul. But yeah, Persuader is also good. I just refuse. I'm being a scrub. That's what it is.
Yeah, get over it, man. All right. Well, looking at some of these other weapon changes, Acreus got that PvE damage buff.
That's hilarious, by the way.
Seems pretty good.
It like one-shots those big targets in the forge. It's very funny how strong it is. Definitely use it.
So that's good. Note to that. The grenade launcher thing I haven't really played with so much, and I don't know how easily you're going to be able to feel the kind of that consistency on direct hits. One thing I'm curious about is the auto rifles. I pulled out my Viced auto rifle the other day for some Gambit, but haven't used it in the Crucible yet. And I'm curious, it seems like at this point, the bump that they got was not quite enough to introduce any kind of new meta level choices for auto rifles. But, somebody's going to find something. There could be something in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just said it better than or better than we could really ever say it. But
Well, I try, you know.
well, I mean, this is the fact, and it's been true for a while. The auto rifles are the low skill entry weapon, and that as you get higher up, stuff like hand cannons just inevitably beat it because of the utility of them. I hear Suros regime is better with the speed up. I avoid autos because I'm not good at tracking with mouse and keyboard. I've gotten better than I ever have been, but only in specific ways. Tracking is very, very hard. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice little bump, and I'm sure it'll feel good in PvE, but it's just not enough to suddenly make it the go-to. It's not. We're not in the Uriel's gift phase anymore. That was year one.
You know what? That's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay,
and that's fine.
You know, Suros seems like it's doing okay. I don't think it's meta, but people are digging on Suros.
And I love exotics that kind of stretch above their archetype or above their role in the meta, like Mida did for so long. It's just like, all right, scouts aren't great, but Mida's good. I love when they do that. So good for Suros.
There's a great Cammy video from before the auto rifle changes, where he is doing a rumble match with Suros, and he finishes the match and wins in like 3 minutes. And it's just absurd. And like he goes unbroken, like kills everyone, and is just playing spawns, and he is just owning people with it. And it's one of my favorite videos of his recently. And it just made me like, okay. Even before the changes, I was like, oh man, is Suros like really good? And no one's just using it? So it's something I'll probably have to give a little more time to, but I tried using it the other night, and I am not that good with Suros. So it's also weird getting like trying to use that against like all these last word users and like people that are like just killing you with like hand cannons. So it's more of a encounter distance type of thing. So
it's in a world where they started bumping up exotics to not just do a little thing good, but do a big thing good. Like Ace of Spades having so many benefits. Suros like should just give health on every kill, and then people would use it all the time. But
that would be great.
Like it needs those huge upgrades like some exotics did.
It's hard to be like tell someone the Ace of Spades perks and be like, wait, what? Why don't they all just have all of this stuff?
Right? Why does it have 86 range and 84 impact? I should stop talking about Ace of Spades. No. Do not nerf it.
Yeah. It also, the Memento Mori bullets, they just don't go away now.
I love Ace of Spades. It's so good.
Oh, it also gives you third eye. Wow.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You need 3 amazing things for each exotic. Otherwise, there's going to be something better.
You know, Last Word kind of has third eye because you just never ADS with it.
Yeah, just don't aim down sights and you're fine.
Yeah. I mean, it actually is how it works. It's pretty great. All right. Well, so that's good on the weapons front. We'll see kind of what bubbles up out of this.
I have a theory that the special weapons are going to get hit a little harder in the future because there was not, any talk about shotguns or fusion rifles in general, and the sniper thing was minor, and they just asked for more feedback on sniper. So if you're still concerned about flinch or whatever, I bet something bigger is coming. So we should move on.
Interesting. I want to hear what you guys think about subclasses because I've been still just playing my warlock, and that Nova Warp is first time I popped that super and was like, all right, time to go kill everyone on the enemy team multiple times, win the game, everyone's gonna love me, and it didn't work as well as it normally does. Definitely felt that a little bit. But some new stuff has bubbled up. I'm curious, what have you guys tried so far? What's working for you?
Man, I was not expecting this big super patch. And they hyped it as like, we got to make these stronger. And I was like, oh, I guess I didn't notice. But yeah, I'm down. So I think that's really cool. If I could speak in general, I do wish some of the neutral games would get shaken up, because you got this great buff to the Dawnblade super, but the neutral game still feels a little straightforward, not a lot of synergy. But that's neither here nor there, because this is all about the supers. And the first one I tried, after I finally finished the Last Word quest, late night on Tuesday, is the new Gunslinger, because you get a bullet back for every kill on 6-shooter, and that is cool, and it feels awesome. So the timer isn't different, right? Like, we're not extending it for a very long time like some other supers can now. But you don't feel so worried to nail that shot. You kind of just like let it fly, and every super feels very powerful just because you have that firepower. And I've seen huge plays happening with that one, and I think it's giving everyone just a tiny boost of comfort in that super to not panic, to not push your shots, to not pop it in damage or walk into sniper lanes and stuff like that. It feels great, and that one is definitely going to start seeing a lot of play, especially because the Blade Barrage is getting toned a little bit, and the panic
deals self damage. Take that,
panic Blade Barrages. My God! Oh, if there was another scrubby thing, it was me making fun of anyone who killed me with a Blade Barrage and no one else. If you got a solo Blade Barrage against me, I made fun of you for the next 5 minutes because you used your incredibly good super on one person. But yeah, bam, bam, bam. It's a good super.
Makes me want to play Gunslinger.
But I know you're not gonna, Swain, because now sunspots are a thing. Speaking of neutral game, what am I talking about?
The Titan Sunbreaker, which I play all the time, and for which I had played the Sunspot build for a long time until recently. Recently, I kind of switched up. I was playing a lot of the top tree Sunbreaker, but I went back because of the buff to sunspots. They are kind of crazy right now, to the point where like people will walk through them and not realize that the damage increase of being in the sunspot went from 25 to 50 per tick. So they don't even really have to be in there that long to die. So like, yeah, people like walking through still, and it's pretty funny.
And confirmed that a fully charged Le Monarch shot will one-hit kill with a sunspot buff. Yep. That's wonderful.
There's a lot that happens there. Like it was like one head, two bodies for Last Word.
Yep.
If you're in a sunspot. And you really, the thing with the sunspots are the Sun Warrior perk. It buffs all damage output, 20% in PvP, 25 in PvE. 20% in PvP, 25 in PvE, and you don't have to stand directly in the sunspot. You really just have to pass through it. That's a real question here. Does it persist for a few seconds? So say if I pass through it and walk 5 meters, am I still getting that buff versus standing in a rift? It changes. You do.
Okay.
The perk is called Sun Warrior. And when you pass through a sunspot, you get the Sun Warrior perk. That has been increased from 3 seconds to 5 seconds.
So that's big, because I was going to say, if you're using the Last Word, any buff to damage is super fun on it. And I've been using Empowering Rift on Warlock. But if you get
you gotta stand in a spot.
Right. Like if you get that benefit but can keep moving and pushing forward, that's unreal. So now I totally see why that sunspot is super, super strong.
It's also reminding me about how much I really liked the Sunspot super when done right. So like when you are able to move from sunspot to sunspot, you can continue your super. So the longer you're standing there, it goes on longer. So all you have to really do is like get the kill and move up to it and just continue like leapfrogging from sunspot to sunspot that you create. Even if you miss hitting someone, it like the super creates the sunspot. So it's about kind of just like moving from spot to spot, and you can really, really extend that super using that. But the cool thing about it is like you finish it off And sometimes when you finish a super, you feel a little vulnerable. Like you may have overextended yourself a little bit. But if you do it right and you land in the last sunspot, you have your buff and you have the ability to kind of just like move forward and be stronger in that moment. Like, oh yeah, I'm able to go at the team now and be very heavily like empowered here.
Oh, I'll have to put that on the list.
I played the bottom tree striker when I was on my Titan, and
okay, I want to hear. But so let's be clear on what these changes are. So there are 2 changes on the bottom tree striker. The first is that when you're in the Fist of Havoc super, that shoulder charge energy cost is reduced dramatically. So 83% less super energy used. Additionally, the trample perk, which is destroying enemies with Fist of Havoc, extends its duration, can now trigger every half second. It used to be sort of locked at once per second. Does that about sum it up?
Yeah, and it's funny because I played Striker. I didn't use Thunder Crash before this patch. I was just like, in the mood to mess around. And you felt it. That super was over quick for a roaming super. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things that happened between D1 and D2 is this Fist of Havoc, this amazing slam, suddenly becomes this terrifying train that is just like choo-chooing across the map. But it's very short-lived, especially compared to supers that exist nowadays. So I love this buff that just extends the length. It can get absurd. And like speaking entirely on the PvE side, there is now video footage of someone carrying out that super indefinitely. They went to the Leviathan in the Castellium or whatever it's called. And literally, if you have enemies, you can keep that super up forever, which is hilarious.
Was what the video had.
Absolutely just nuts. And of course, practically that probably wouldn't work should he, that player continue to, I think it was Esoteric, right? Should he continue on through the raid? Obviously, he's not going to have it for the whole raid. But that's hilarious. And it can be troublesome in the Crucible if you're not targeting this super down. And the neutral game there I've always thought was underrated. That bottom tree with the extended melee distance, melee on health, reverse that. That's a good build. That's not bad. And if you're pairing it with Syntheseps or One-Eyed, you've got your health back a lot. You've got overshields. So that's a very strong class right now. Very, very strong.
I got killed by one of those Fist of Havoc supers. He chased me down with the shoulder charge very quick. And then I died. And then I watched as he just continued to scoot.
Oh, that little
yeah, all the way across the map. I got another guy. I thought, right, that's what people are talking about.
Yeah, when someone
doesn't
exit their super during your kill cam, it feels bad. You're like, oh no, he's still going.
I didn't stand a chance.
My least favorite is when someone immediately exits their super after killing you. And I was so close to not dying.
But that gives you the out, right? You're like, damn, oh man, I was so close. I almost had him. Like he would have they would have left their super and I could have totally hit the shot. But when they literally are still in their super, when you respawn, you're like, I'm about to give this asshole a 7th column or something like that. Like, I think that's way worse. Ugh.
Yeah.
I played Blink. I think Blink is fun. Make Blink better. Make it, slow at the launch, but really fast at the end. Just do it. Blink would be so cool. But I use the top tree Nova Bomb. I've said on this show and I've said on Twitter, I'm so sad for Nova Bomb because Blade Barrage exists. And why would you use Nova Bomb when Blade Barrage exists? But top tree Nova is pretty fun. And those tracking detonations do good work. So I had a really good time and I was actually getting double, triple, quadruple kills with the super just because throw it in the general direction and obviously have your escape route because it's not going to hit them very soon. But it's really satisfying to see those projectiles actually seek out another target and get the kill long after the first one exploded. So it's okay. Those that neutral game is fine. Never going to be anything special, but the super's fun.
So I rarely am grateful that Mayhem is the weekly playlist. It's like, well, I don't know, what are you doing, Mayhem? However, it is great for getting those medals you need for the last word quest. That blood for butt blood. And I was playing Top Tree Voidwalker, and I have to really give that Slova Bomb credit. That thing, it went into a little hallway. It rounded a corner. It didn't even scratch the paint. And like I picked up, there was like 4 or 5 of those medals I picked up in one match from 2 Nova Bombs, because those little seekers, they do work. They really do give good chase. I don't think I would ever use it. What did surprise me, I totally forgot how to play Bottom Tree Voidwalker. There's the thing with your grenade, and you get your health back.
That was tier 1 when this game
tier 1. There
first
was that,
came out.
Was it like that cami clip or something? Like
I know Joey and Fallout both
forgot.
used that extremely well back in the day, and probably still do. But yeah, I hope that kind of, it needs more time. It's tough to go find an old thing and see if it's really good again, if it's not directly changed, like say the Sunspot perks. But I hope it has a place. You know what I mean? The Void Warp got hit really hard. Not gonna lie. It's a slow and tough to use super now. It was definitely too strong, but it got hit harder than Spectral Blades did, for sure. Spectral is still a very good super. Definitely one of the top supers in the game at the moment. But I don't know. Like, it's tough to say that this Bottom Tree Voidwalker has an amazing neutral game, but an absolute useless super relative to the other options out there. But who knows? Because getting instant health on a kill is a lot different than health regens on something or something like that. Like, it is very good. So we'll see. Right now on Warlock, it's probably Top Tree Dawnblade for me.
Really?
And because that super is so beautiful. And I don't know, I like Mid Tree Storm. I think it's weirdly got this very odd but very good kit with it, and a super that shuts stuff down. I think you have to just get good at turning it off. Don't try to never think you're going to get like a quad kill with this laser beam, but use it to shut down those pesky spectral blades, and it's pretty good. But yeah, Nova Bomb, we'll see.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff in here. I feel, I went and got that last word first day. Like, that doesn't happen often. There's some things I'm starting to work through, but I think, there's a big to-do list on these subclasses to really, maybe, I've played so much Warlock in the past season. Maybe I won't be a Warlock going forward. Maybe you'll see me wearing those lucky pants or something. I don't know.
I felt like an idiot. I logged on and immediately clicked my Titan, and I was like going to play Top Tree Sentinel. I was like, oh, there's like been 9 changes. I should try something out. One thing we haven't mentioned yet is the change to heavy ammo. Very simple. There's basically less of it all across the board. I think it's great. I think it's still a huge swing. I was, in some close matches this week. I have to shout out Pino and Nem. We mashed up against them and literally lost by 1 point. But those heavy ammo spawns, if you can get them, you're great. You can go up 10 kills or something like that. It really shifts the game, but less of them is better. All around feels more balanced. I can't say enough how good this change is without making heavy completely irrelevant. It's still very important that you get the first drop in comp and can totally make a difference in quick play, but otherwise you're not just dying to machine gun the whole time. Good change.
It's great.
All right. Well, guess what, everyone? New meta. It's happening. It's happening right now. People are figuring things out, and you know what? It could be you. It could be you who figures out. Well, a lot of the good
sassy
stuff
new
covered
thing
so far. the sassy new thing. So go play. We all had a nice little break, a little bit of a lull. You can keep riding that out. If there's some other games you're playing, it's okay. If you're not even playing a ton of video games right now, you know what? It's okay as long as you continue to listen to Crucible Radio week after week. And if you really just you can't listen to another bit of Destiny talk, but you still want to hear those old Crucible Radio boys doing their thing, well, I've got good news for you. I want to tell you guys a story about a person named Josiah. Now, before Josiah started listening to Real World Crucible Radio, I would say Josiah did not have gorgeous multicolored feathers covering every inch of his body. He didn't have a wingspan extending over 4.5 feet, and he certainly did not nest in the tree in my backyard with a bunch of other Real World Crucible Radio listeners, growing more and more powerful and honestly a little intimidating day after day. You're probably wondering, I could never grow such a beautiful array of feathers just from listening to a podcast. But I'm here to tell you it's possible, and you can do it for $1 an episode. It comes out twice a month. Go to patreon.com/Crucible Radio, and you help us pay engineer Andrew and video editor Nick. That's how it works. And they're a lot of fun. It is everything but Destiny. So go check it out.
Ooh, I think that's the end of the episode, fellas.
We did it. No guests. We were still able to do a show, just like the old days.
Wow. A whole hour.
I guess that is exactly how much
all right,
left in
goodbye.
us. I guess that's it. See you.
Voice inside the dial tone, 'cause I'm too far. Like reaching out from outer space, crashing like
Hey everyone, this is Engineer Andrew from the Crucible Radio team, and you're listening to Friend Group. This is his new single called Too Far for Comfort, just came out last week. And the song, I'm actually a pretty big fan of it because I actually helped work on it. Did some mixing and a little bit of producing for it. Some fun little late 90s R&B vibes here in the bridge. But yeah, if you like what you're hearing, go check out Friend Group. It's just on Spotify, Friend Space Group. And go ahead and check them out on social media. It's Friend Group Band. And if you want to hear your song on Crucible Radio or your band, go ahead and submit some music to us. It's crucibleradio@gmail.com. And, just plug myself, I guess. If you want some help getting your song mixed or any production stuff, you can always hit me up. It's Andrew J_Gomez on Twitter. Just hit me up in a DM and we'll figure something out. Get your music sounding awesome. All right, y'all have a great week.
don't leave me on my own, 'cause you know better, you know better, I know better. Too far for comfort, like reaching out from outer space, crashing like Pacific Tape. Too far for comfort, 'cause home looks more like someone's face when it's no specific place.
Hello everyone, Swain here. You know that Crucible Radio is your source for all things Destiny PvP, and I know you want more than just this video, so make sure to head on over to crucibleradio.com to find all of our past episodes, detailed Crucible maps, t-shirts, and much, much more.